by myself now again because the three guys done left me. I'm like, oh God.
You mean you were the only one left, and they just took off and left you?
Yeah, they took. So we wasn't there not 3 minutes. Then there was deer making ungodly noises, and I, the whole way over there, I'm egging them on, telling them the backstory and the history of this place and what's been reported. And so they were kind of scared anyway before we got there.
So you and I got a feeling you embellished it a little bit as you were going there, right? So as soon as they heard all this strange noise, they were saying, "Hey, bye, James, we're gone."
Yeah. I might have even threw in some Jersey Devil stuff just to get.
Shame on you, my friend. Shame on you.
But you don't know the rousing they would give me, for weeks and weeks, and it was like, this felt good. I'm going to tell them, Jersey Devil comes up here a little bit sometimes and mates with its cousin and something. It just had them going. And when them deer were making that noise, they were so gone. And then I was done with it. I stayed there for like an hour and a half. I was like, I need to get out of here. I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, now, was this before you went to the place where you saw the occult, getting ready to sacrifice, or was this before or after?
Actually, this was about a year before, I think, close to a year before.
Now, have you gone in the woods since then?
Oh yeah, I go in the woods. I'm just stupid fearless. I don't know what's wrong with me, but yeah, I go in the woods. But listen, I'm going to tell you something. I'm extremely on guard when I go in the woods, and sometimes I take a little friend with me, if you know what I mean.
Well, no, I don't. but from the standpoint, I get these people on, Bigfoot hunters, right?
Yeah.
And I had this one person that it tells me they go hiking out 20-some miles out in the mountains, right? Looking for a Bigfoot. And then I said, well, what? In fact, he was actually on my show. I said to the guest, I said, well, what do you take with you for protection? He goes, well, I got a 6-inch knife. And I said, maybe you might not run into a Bigfoot, but how about a cougar or a mountain lion or a bear or something?
Bear, yeah. That's what I'd be afraid of.
Yeah. Well, is that 6-inch knife going to do you any good?
Oh, my goodness. That's like being on a forest fire to put it out.
Yeah, or like a couple of weeks ago in the news, right? This guy, they found his body with a half a can of bear spray.
I seen that.
You know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you, 22 ain't going to do it. A 25 ain't going to do it. Carry a 45 or a 38 Magnum or something, and then, I would rather have something, that has a clip at like 12 or 13 or 14 bullets in it because, and have a couple clips you can drop in real quick because, what?
Yeah, exactly. Or a speed load. And let me tell you something. If you got a pistol and you shoot it and you don't get a hell of a kick out of it, don't take it because it's not going to stop a bear.
Well, James, when I was a young kid, my dad's brother was into hunting. And I use the word was. And, people say, oh, there's no black bears in California. But evidently, well, that's what I've been told. And funny is, it was somewhere near Mount Shasta. That's what I remember. Now, we're talking back, 50 years ago. But, even maybe about 54 years ago. Anyway, he went out hunting with one of his kids, and he saw this bear. And he had a good-sized gun with him, but he shot the bear, and the bear didn't drop. And he shot the bear a second time. By the time he got ready, to bring the bolt and shoot it the third time, the bear got a hold of him. And he was in the hospital for months. The first couple of weeks, they didn't even know if he was going to live. I mean,
I'm surprised he did live. God.
He had a lot of scars on him from it. So my whole point is, if you go out in the woods, be smart, don't do it unless you got some people with you. And that don't even do you any good because like cougars and mountain lions and stuff, you can be with a group of like 10 or 12 people or even 4 people, right? They they don't care about the people in front. They're waiting for the guy who's kind of slower and, and back, it slows down.
If you want to know how it works, watch them safari shows. That's how they hunt. They look for the weak or the young or the old or the strays. So if you're in a group of 10, they'll pick out the weakest of the herd, just like the herd on TV. And if you don't see which one's the weakest one, it's you. It's you.
Yeah. So, if you're falling back and you see him like about, like 100 feet in front of you, you know that you're, if anything's there, you're going to be dinner.
Yeah. And here's another thing about these cats. You could literally, and I am telling you, especially right before dark, you could walk probably 2 feet by them. If they're laying down hiding in the grass, you won't see them. I mean, they blend in, buddy. So if they're an ambush predator, they're going to pounce on you, and they are so quick, you don't stand a chance to even probably get off one round.
No.
And people don't realize that. And they are so quick, and they're stalking. If you want to know how they hunt, just watch them old safari shows. Make sure you're in the middle of the herd of your herd of people if you want to be safe.
Well, I am. I grew up with a family. My father was an outdoorsman. He loved fishing. He liked camping. When I was a little kid, we'd go during the summer. Almost every weekend, we'd go camping. McKenzie River, you name it, all over Washington, Oregon. All these places. Going. Camping. I enjoyed it, but like I mentioned before, with my friend back in the early 2000s up in the Canadian Rockies. I tell you, we didn't have any weapons or anything, and I'm not even going to tell anybody tonight what I ran into, but I ran into something, it caused me to pee my pants, and it was bigger than a bear, put it this way. And,
I got
you know what? I have never gone back in the... Now, I do own almost 2 acres of cedar trees. That's one thing, because there's all houses now around me. But I tell you, you couldn't get me back in the woods.
I'm telling you, what people don't realize the stuff that is out in them woods. I'm going to tell you about, 25 years ago, I'd come back for a summer, visit my father, and he lives out in the middle of Bigfoot country here in Ohio, where it's called the Bigfoot Triangle. And there was a lot of reports of people, and there's some haunted land and Bigfoot, kind of a mixture thing, and it was pretty hot. People were all kind of reports, scared out of their mind, hearing all kind of crazy things in the woods, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to solve it. I'm going to find out. Look, I figured I'm going to find it. So I'm going out there, and my dad said, you better take the AK-47 when you find something that can stop it or cut it in half or something. I'm like, okay, fine. So I've got all kind of weapons of that, and a couple of pistols, and my knife's bigger than 6 inches, I assure you. It's more like a sword. So I'm out in the woods, and I'm telling you, Gary, I am hearing these freaking noises. Now, I'm going to tell you, it made the hair on my neck stand up. It's because I was out in the woods about 2 days. I'm the kind of like, you need to find something like that. You can't go in and come out. Just go in and stay in. Just stay in there as long as you can. Just stay in the woods, you know what I mean? It wasn't wintertime, so why not? So I'm out there, and, man, I can hear these noises, and I don't know. I'm not familiar with them. I grew up in the woods. I don't know what these noises are. And they're loud, and even really, I know it's not deer, it's ungodly. So it kind of reminds me of a few years before from that thing I seen, the barbecue there in Rhode Island. But anyway, my hair's on my neck, and I'm crawling up over this knoll, and it's dark, kind of dark almost, right before the sun goes down, right at that point. And I'm getting closer and closer, and I'm like pretty much in my stealth mode, like a ranger or something. I mean, I know that the crap's going to hit the fan.
Yeah.
I'm going to get to the bottom of it. Either I'm going to get attacked or never come home, or I'm going to bring a trophy home, or I'm going to poop my pants. Something's going to happen. There's going to be an end to this story. So I'm very quietly crawling, and it is really loud. Now I'm behind this big log up over a knoll, and it starts to drop off, and it's down below there. Whatever it is down, and I can hear it. So I very slowly raise my head up over this thing, and I can hear these footsteps. Like you gotta hear it. Can hear these in the leaves. And I'm like, oh Lord, just face your fears. Just face your fears and see what it is. So I raised my head up, and within about 5 feet away was this ungodly noise, and I found out it was a freaking peacock all these farmers for years had all these peacocks, and they'd get loose, and now there's wild peacocks running in the woods out here near Suffolk, and they give off the most ungodly noises you've never heard in your life. That's what was causing all this panic. And it about had me poop my pants. I was like, what is this? It's like peacocks were out there making ungodly noises, Gary. That was the mystery. And luckily, I lived to come home and tell my dad about it. He says, what? I said, yeah.
But what would you have done if you ran into something like a Bigfoot or something like that?
Well, I was well prepared, but I definitely didn't want to shoot nothing. But I'm not going to let him, take my arm off and beat me with it either. But I mean,
I don't know. I get all these people, want to be a guest, and some of them have been guests on my show. And they say that you don't have nothing to worry about Bigfoot because they're
I don't buy that.
Well, they're
buy that.
friendly,
okay.
And they give off orbs, and and they're here to watch over men. But you know what? Now I'll be honest with you. The experience I had with my friend who was a medical doctor. Yeah. When we went up the Canadian Rockies, we wanted to go take pictures of ghost towns and old cemeteries and old silver mines and stuff like that. So we found this old World War II internment camp, on the map before we left. And we figured that's where we're going to go. So we were going on the main road, going through the Rockies, right? We had to take us off-road and go in maybe 4 or 5 miles. And, the road was kind of really shitty, pardon the expression. But, we get out and we hike in about 2.5 miles to where the internment camp was. And, I'm sitting there or standing there, taking pictures. And my friend, says, hey, Gary, look at that giant barrack. And there was like a little creek that went by there. And on the other side of it was the side of the mountain where the silver mine was. That's where it was. Over where I was at was parts of some buildings that were, collapsed, where the prisoners were held and, what was still left there. Boy, I wouldn't want to be a Japanese prisoner in there during World War II.
No,
but, I'm looking at it, right? And he has a wide-angle lens on his camera. I got the telephoto on mine. So he goes, hey, why don't you get a picture of the bear? And so I swing my camera. Now, the lens I had was like a 2.8 300 millimeter, which means the glass is big. It's not a small lens. The front of it has a large diameter. And probably the light reflected onto what I was going to take the picture. And all of a sudden, when I looked through it, I realized this sucker is not a bear.
Not any known bear you know of.
Well, unless it's about like 8, 9, 10 feet tall and has long arms, and a weird face. It screamed. Now,
my!
And behind it, was the side of the mountain where the mine was. So it echoed. And
oh my!
And at that point, after it screamed, it decided to start coming towards us. So we're running, right? We're running. I was about
like a
ready.
Chinese fire drill.
I was ready. I was at that time ready to throw a $29,000 digital camera in the bushes. I didn't care. Wow. I actually will say this: that was the one time I peed my pants.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't do more than that. I'm telling you what.
And the thing was screaming and running, and I turned around quick, looks, and noticed it was catching up kind of with us, and I noticed it was running on 2 legs and dropping down to 4 legs, or to his arms, back up, down, running, right? Well, we make it to the car. Okay, I'm the first one opening the car door, getting into it. And it or its mate was maybe 25, 30 feet away from the car.
Oh, my God.
Bending like a 25-foot tree, pine fir, I don't know the difference of the trees. Bending it over like, it was starting to snap type of noise. And it screamed at us. I got the car started. My friend just got his car door open, okay, because I managed to unlock it. He's trying to get in the car. He has one leg in the car. I'm stepping on the gas, and and I'm dragging him, till I come to a quick stop, and he gets in. That sucker threw a huge rock. Now, the bad part is I had a Jeep. It was only a couple